So let's crack on. Just a quick introduction for those of you who don't know me. My name is Dr. Tim Errington, Doctor of Chiropractic and Certified Functional Medicine Practitioner. I am the owner and founder of Total Health Chiropractic. A few years ago, I wrote a book called Posture Matters when I realized there was such a large problem in Singapore. I've been on most of the stages in Singapore. I have 4 clinics, 10 doctors working for us. We see over 1,200 clients every single week. So suffice to say, I have been helping people with these problems, with neck pain and shoulder pain and all the spine and posture related problems for over 20 years. So I do know a thing or two about this subject. So most people come into my clinic because of pain and they want the pain to go away. But today I want us to think a little bit more smartly about pain. Okay, I know that you want the pain to go away, but I want you to think a little bit more about health, because that is your greatest wealth. Of course, we want to avoid disease and degeneration, but our main goal in life is simply to be happy. And you cannot be happy if you are in pain. Okay, we want to be comfortable in our own bodies. We want to be able to function as the best we can, and we want to get the most out of life. All right, so today we're talking about function and structure and all these very, very important things. And this is why I became a chiropractor. I had a choice many, many years ago, over 25 years ago, do I become a medical doctor or a chiropractor? And when I realized that chiropractic is all about life and what makes people live, then I realized that's what I wanted to be my vocation. I didn't want to spend my life medicating people or doing surgeries. I want to help people literally live the best life possible. And chiropractic is a system for restoring and maintaining function at the highest possible level. It's based on common sense and laws of the universe. I have never heard anybody tell me that that does not make sense. So everything that I'm going to say today makes absolute sense. And if you think it doesn't make sense, then challenge me. And we've got a chat box. Please, if you have any questions, please pop your questions in the chat box. We can address these at the end. I'm here to do the most good possible. One thing that I do know, and it intrigues me, and it amazes me almost every single day, that common sense it's not common. People don't use common sense anymore, and people are making the same old mistakes, and people are developing more and more bad habits, and these bad habits unfortunately are far outnumbering the good habits. And now we've got this situation where so many people are suffering. 80% of people in Singapore are suffering from degenerative conditions which could have been avoided. Okay, so neck pain, let's go on with it. First thing I want you to think about is mindset. When you get neck pain, how do you act? What do? Do you just reach for the pill bottle, or do you actually think smartly about how the body is communicating with you? Let's think about structure and function, because that is basically my main focus. There is only one efficient shape for your spine, and the alignment of your spine is vital. Of course, what we do repetitively all day, every day matters enormously. And of course, we're designed to move. We've created a very, very, very unnatural world, and that is why we are all suffering. We simply must make our life as natural as possible. I know it's pretty hard here in Singapore. We're all working so hard, but we've simply got to, okay? We've got to make life as natural as possible. Now, what about pain? Because we all get pain. Thinking about mindset, is pain good or bad? Of course, it's bad. We want it to go away. But after today, I want you to start thinking a bit more intuitively about your body. If you're getting pain, it's not getting you pain. That amazing intelligence in your body isn't getting you pain just to make life miserable. It's telling you something's wrong. And you can't just medicate it, because it's going to get worse. You've got to find out what's going on and fix it. Usually it's something structural. There's some trauma, there's something going on, but there's always a cause. The neck problems that come into our clinic there's many, many types. Of course, there's just pain, but there's stiffness and tightness. We're losing our range of motion. There's degeneration and arthritis. People experience popping and cracking from our joints. And then, of course, there's problems with our arms. We get the numbness and tingling down our arms, and we get weakness. We lose our grip strength, and people are getting frozen shoulder. And then, of course, there's another big one, headaches. More and more headaches can be related to the neck. And I pride myself in that our clinics are, I believe, some of the best headache clinics in Singapore, because when we fix the neck, the headaches tend to go away. How often? Well, more than 90% of headaches will be vastly reduced when you fix the neck. Okay, so let's think about a little bit about what causes these problems. Of course, there are macro traumas. If you fall down the stairs or get hit by a taxi, for me, it was rugby and falling off motorcycles, or I've had skiing accidents. I get pain just like everybody else. And yes, I get pain every single day. But I think smartly about my body. I know what the body's telling me. I know what to do to alleviate it. I know what to do to make sure that things don't get worse. I so want to help you have the same mindset. So we know that there's macro traumas. Hopefully nobody watching this is going to get knocked over by a taxi. But one thing I do know is that nearly everybody in Singapore is suffering from micro traumas, tech neck. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about the structure moving out of balance. And then we start getting all this tightness and creaking and cracking and pain and all these problems that come into our clinics. Now, this is not macro trauma, this is micro trauma. Now, there is an expression, don't sweat the small stuff. Well, in this particular case, that expression does not apply. You simply must be aware of what's happening inside your body, because these small traumas, these everyday traumas of gravitational force acting on our body, all this stiffness and these pains that gradually build up over a period of months or years even, they are probably, in fact, I know more than that, they are arguably one of the most serious health threats in this modern world. To the extent where 80% of the people that come into our clinics are suffering from real spinal arthritis. It's not something I would wish on anybody, but 80% of people in our clinics are displaying visible spinal arthritis that we can see on X-ray. All right, so this is not a small problem, this is a big problem, right? This micro trauma, it's caused by alignment and structure. So let's have a look inside the body. Let's have a look at some science. Now, my background before I was a chiropractor was engineering. And I'm going to start relating yourself to engineering. So bear with me. I think you'll agree with me that that lady in the middle illustration there looks very comfortable in her own body. And that's why I use her as an example. But if you look at her, she's got very, very, very good posture. So what's this got to do with engineering? Well, on the right, you see a chimney, a very, very, very tall chimney that I actually was involved in the construction of. It's in Africa. I built it something like 30 years ago. It is still standing because I know the forces of gravity. I know the forces of the universe, and we need to apply these forces to ourselves. I want you to remind yourself that we are all, and you yourselves, are structures. We are columns, and we want to stand in gravity for the best part of 100 years. Okay? The problem is already, when we reach the age of 20 or 25, certainly, we're losing our balance. We are not standing tall in gravity. There lies the problem. If we look at the illustration on the left, you see down the middle, there's a line, straight down the middle. It goes through the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, and the ear. They should all line up in a nice straight line, as indeed they do with that comfortable looking woman in the middle. The problem is many, actually nearly all the clients that come into our clinics are losing their balance. Their head is coming forward. So what does that mean? Well, let's consider the weight of your head. Yes, I've just changed the head for a bowling ball. Why have I done that? Because that bowling ball is the same weight as the average adult head. If it's balanced, not too many problems. But imagine what happens if that bowling ball comes forward. Yes, it's going to start causing all kinds of strain, and the muscles are going to start working, and you start going to get stiffness, and it will inevitably lead to pain. Okay, so let's look at the structure that's causing all this pain. Here we see inside the neck. We've got these facet joints, these things on the left, and then we have on the right. On the left, we've got the discs. All right, the discs keep the backbones or vertebra apart. Now, if we have good posture or alignment, then the weight of our head should be balanced between the discs and these facet joints. Right? Now, what happens if the head goes forward? Well, the weight's moving forward onto the discs. And what's happening is that as the head goes forward, all those muscles, and look how many muscles we've got in our neck. It's a very, very complicated part of our anatomy. But as the head goes forward, it gets heavier, and all those muscles start straining. Those orange bits of muscles it's the belly of the muscle. They get very, very tight, and they start pulling on the tendons. That's the white bits at the end of those muscles. You gradually start getting tendinitis, and you start getting all sorts of pains and aches. All right. So the tightness in the neck is very much due to posture, the head coming forward. Let's look a little bit more. Here we see what's going on in the inside. So as the head comes forward, the weight is moving on to the discs. Now the discs are compressing, and we can see the discs start to bulge into the central canal inside the spine. What's inside that central canal? Well, it's your spinal cord. It's your lifeline, and it runs through the neck. And here we can see those bulging discs start to press a little bit into the spinal cord. This is not a good thing. What happens gradually as more and more deterioration happens is we'll start to get spinal arthritis. The body is always in a state of reconstruction. We are building new bone and new muscle and new tissues all the time. But now that head has moved forward, we're building more bone. And we can see these osteophytes, these bone spurs growing at the front as the body trying to support that extra weight. There you can see the herniated disc. And now what have you got? You can see that red nerve being pinched. So now we're getting these problems of trapped nerves. And why is this so painful? Because this is the neck, and the neck is so close to these very, very delicate, very important sensory areas of the brain. Okay, neck problems can become extremely painful. The good news is that we're going to move very, very rapidly and very shortly onto some smart methods we can get on top of these problems and start to alleviate the pain and perhaps go back towards health. That's what we really want. Now, when somebody with these problems come into our clinic, we tend to take X-rays and we do imaging. Now, what you see here is actually an MRI. And I've used this as an illustration because here we've got a reversed curve in the neck. And unfortunately, over 70%, 7 people out of 10 that come into our clinics have got reversed curves. And I wanted you to see this because this is super important. Everybody who's got a reverse curve has got tremendous pressure on the discs, and those discs will inevitably start to bulge out the back. And in that green box, what you see happening is the disc which is turned black. The discs at the bottom of the neck are more healthy, they are white. The discs at the top of the neck are less healthy, they've gone black. They're drying out, they're desiccated. But this particular disc, where the reverse curve is now being squished out of the space, and it's pressing onto the spinal cord. Now, I would not wish this on anybody. It's a real problem, but it's extremely common in our clinic. It doesn't mean surgery is inevitable. It means that the time is running out, and we really need to get on top of these things as quickly as possible. The reality is poor posture always leads to poor function. Poor function always leads to degeneration. And it's this habitual positioning of poor posture that is causing unnecessary strain on the body. Where's the strain coming from? Gravitational forces we can't escape from. You probably have never heard from this expression, but pretty much chiropractors are pretty much the only gravitational physiologists. That's what we work with, the power of gravity and helping our bodies be aligned in gravity so it makes us strong, gives us strong muscles and strong bones and good healthy joints, rather than the inevitable stresses and strains and arthritis that happens when you have weight-bearing joints that are out of alignment. These physical stresses of gravity are causing unhealthy adaptive change. Now, I've got a cat that's buzzing around. I'm sure you can hear it meowing. I think it wants feeding, but I shall leave that to somebody else. Right, so we have this reality check. Life is about growth. We become adults, and then once we get reach adulthood, we then go through a process of change and adaptation. And gradually we have this process of aging. And we can age well, or we can age badly. And what's going to determine how we age? Yep, you've got it. Posture. And if you look at that illustration there, you see that little guy with that hot low back and that long face. Yeah, he's already suffering. But if he sits in that position for his entire career, you can bet your bottom dollar that he is going to end up like the guy with the walking sticks. He's going to be stiff and he's going to be arthritic, terrible posture, and he will not live to his potential. So, I really do want this to be a reality check. This is a world of cause and effect, action and reaction. And one of the big factors that's changing our body on a daily basis, a monthly basis, from year to year, is our posture. And if we look inside us again, our structure, our spine is our structural blueprint. And we've all got a structural blueprint. And when I take x-rays, I see your structural blueprint. And when I see an x-ray, it tells me various stories. It tells me a story about the past. It tells me how your posture has been over maybe the last 10 years. If you're getting a bit hunchback, I know you've had bad posture. You've had more bad habits than good habits, right? Now, this tells me a little story about how you are now, because if I see an x-ray of somebody who's got some hunchback going on, I know that they're very stiff, they've got pain, already they're suffering, and this tells me the final story, which tells me the story of the future. Because you cannot develop spinal misalignments if you do not correct them, then these will become degenerative arthritic joints, because they are simply laws of the universe. Okay, so we need to correct these things as early as possible, and this is what I donate my entire life towards. At the risk of repeating myself, I've said this a few times, your alignment in gravity will be the cause of most of your future physical pain, and in all likelihood, it is the cause of most of your present pain. Okay, so the wise thing, the smart thing to do is to start correcting the causes of these problems early, because there is something called bioaccumulation. As we have all these little micro traumas on a daily basis, the problems are building up and building up and building up until one day you cross a threshold and these small pains become big pains, or these middle-sized pains become real problems. Okay? I want you to start reading the signs in your body. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Are you starting to lose your balance perhaps? Or are you standing tall and strong? What are the signs telling you? Take an inventory, check in with your body on a daily basis. I encourage all our clients to check in with their bodies on a daily basis. Look at the people around you. Read their structures, read their postures. What is it telling you? If they've got bad posture, they're not looking healthy. Use them as a reminder. If it looks bad, it is bad. And if it applies to you, it is extremely bad for you. Okay? Again, I've mentioned this before. We have to obey the laws of the universe. And this is why I mentioned at the beginning that everything I'm talking about is based on pure common sense. We have basic physiology, which we can't hide from. We have a brain which communicates through our nervous system, through the spine, right? Inside our body, what I've done there, we've taken a virtual scalpel, we've cut the body open, and we've looked inside. You can see all the organs. Now, in this particular illustration, the person looks tall and straight. So that is good, because we need the posture to be good, because breathing and blood circulation and blood and oxygen and nerves, the flow of nerves from the brain to all the tissues, they depend on good alignment, good posture. Now, just think about it. Inside our bodies, we have a lot going on. There's all sorts of physiology, things happening, things working inside us. We are in a state of continual flow. Okay, I want you to start thinking about flow. There is flow going on in our body, in all our cells, everywhere. The problem is, as we start to stiffen and we start to adopt this very unhealthy posture, this sitting disease, you like, we can call it postural stress disorder or spinal deconditioning. This is all semantics. It's the same thing. It will lead to tightness and stiffness. You will become uncomfortable. But you can see this in this illustration. This lady's got hunchback. Her organs are being compressed in the thoracic and abdominal cavity. What's this going to do? It's going to lead to a decreased flow within the body. When you have decreased flow, you're starting to get stasis. Stasis is a loss of flow. And when you have a loss of flow, and it's relating to digestion or nerves or breath, anything that, there can only be one net result, and that is disease. Okay? The healthiest people on the planet move all day, every day. They have great posture. We've got to get our bodies adopting a more natural life. The problem is, everywhere I look, I see tech neck. And I know you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this, you've probably got some neck pain. Am I guessing right? Yeah, I think so. And I would imagine that you're on your phones for more than an hour a day. Most of you will be on your computers for more than 5 hours a day. People come into my clinic and tell me they are looking at screens. If you add work and play all together, and TV and recreation, add it all together, they're looking at screens something like 14 hours a day. Gosh, you know, I mean, of course, this is going to be a big problem, and the damage is going to bioaccumulate. And the why I get so passionate about this is because when I look at the next generation, I see this everywhere, everywhere. And I don't know how bad this is going to be for these young guys that are looking at their phone at every single possible opportunity. I've got kids, young teenagers coming into my clinic. They've lost the curve in their neck. They've got reverse curves. We know what the net result is. It's going to be bulging discs, stiffness, pain, arthritis, loss of function, loss of human potential. Okay? If we want to age well, we've got to deal with these things early. And that's why today I'm now going to move on to what I'm going to break this down into 3 simple strategies to start to relieve neck pain. Now, we don't just want to relieve neck pain, we want to grow back towards health, okay? So these are smart steps. We can all relieve neck pain by rubbing some ointment on it, or maybe going for a massage, or maybe some chops and some, you know, in some clinic, or acupuncture, or drink a bottle of scotch. You know, these things are going to probably make the pain go away for a short time. Today, I want to talk about some smart strategies. And we're just going to look at, there's many other things you can do, but let's just talk about 3 things that you can start to apply immediately. Okay, first one, we're going to look at ergonomics. What is ergonomics? It's the human factor in design. We can call it the science of fitting the workplace to the worker, or I like to think of it as also fitting the worker to the workplace. So we know that we're sitting at computers all day, every day. So we need to start to think in terms of prevention. In this illustration, you can see the girl on the right is smiling. The girl on the left is frowning. Why is that? Well, look at the postures. The girl on the left is slumped forward. It looks like her back's hurting. Of course it is. She's taken no smart steps to get things right. On the right, that young girl has put her laptop on books, brought it up to eye level. She's got support in the low back. She's using Bluetooth keyboard. She's minimized the gravitational forces on her body. She is much more balanced. The stresses aren't building up. So she's happy. Okay, so ergonomics will help reduce the physical stress on your body. You're going to last longer without pain. So let's just touch on a workstation, and let's just make sure we get the basics right, okay? Think about yourself, think about your workplace. If you're at a desk right now, why don't you think a bit, think a bit more cleverly about your setup. I go into so many workplaces and I see very expensive setups and very expensive chairs that are simply not set up properly. All right, so let's get it right. We want the head on our shoulders. To do that, we bring the screen up to the right height. We want our eyes looking straight or slightly down, and we want our shoulders relaxed. To help our shoulders be relaxed, we have an armrest. Okay, you see the armrest is set at the height of our elbows. It's taking the weight of off our shoulders. Here you can see our wrists are straight and straight onto our keyboard. Elbows and knees are 90 degrees. You don't want anything less than that because there will be restriction of blood flow. Thighs are horizontal, feet are supported. The low back has got a nice arch. We're sitting back in the chair. If you can set things up like this, you're going to last longer. The one thing I would add is that you want to be moving. Definitely every hour, you want to stand up and move around a little bit. We are not designed to sit all day. That is a real problem. So we've simply got to introduce some movement, okay? So plenty of water. I'm drinking water all the time. There we go. Drink enough water. You'll be going to the bathroom more, okay? That helps you walk around, okay? Now, what about, I get asked an awful lot about laptops. So I showed you the illustration, bringing the laptop up. Let's think of things we can do. The problem with laptops, of course, is that the monitor's attached to the keyboard. It's all small. It's all very restricted, okay? And it's very difficult for us to get a good setup. So solutions, we can have an expensive docking station or do what I do. It's very, very simple. And what you see there, the laptop, you see a laptop stand. I have that very one in my laptop bag. I also have a Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse. I can set myself up very, very, very efficiently, whether it be in Starbucks or any remote workplace. It only takes a couple of minutes, all right? These are smart solutions. But what we've got to do is we've got to avoid the simple mistakes, the bad habits that we know we're doing. No, 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 right? Think about that pain. What is it telling you? It's telling you, no, 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 okay? Start to communicate a little bit more deeply with your body, right? Have more empathy for your body, right? You've only got one body. It's got to last you a lifetime. Okay, so that's ergonomics. Right, the second smart strategy, functional and corrective exercises, right? I mentioned that we're designed to move. We're also designed to have the right shape. So let's talk a little bit about this. So some very simple things that can help you enormously. Number one, get yourself a simple neck roll. If you've got your head stuck in the computer all day, lying on a neck roll like that, It's going to help re-establish that curve in the neck. When you're lying on that neck roll, and it could be simply a rolled up towel, you can roll your neck from side to side. It's going to massage the back of your neck. It's going to help all that tension that's built up during the day relieve itself. Okay, simple thing to do, costs nothing. Next thing, learn to stretch out your neck muscles. Your neck has got 6 ranges of motion. Think about it. You can go forward, you can go back, you can go to the side, you can go to the other side, and you've got 2 rotations. Okay, think about the range of motion you had as a child. Full range of motion. We want to try and maintain that range of motion. So if you're stiffening, we've got some work to do. Okay, chin should go all the way. If you want to learn how to do it, then just be careful. Be careful with your neck. Be respectful. Start stretching on a daily basis as we check in with our bodies. Look for areas of lost range of motion, and then start to work on it. Okay. What else can we do? Well, we have very stiff shoulders. Yeah. So pull those shoulder blades together. Start to move them. Roll them around. Roll them backwards. Get some movement in there. And as soon as you start to move those shoulders, you start getting blood and oxygen to those tissues. We know that your head's been forward. If they're getting a bit tight, then a couple of things are probably happening. One, your arms are probably not being supported. And secondly, you're probably slumping with your head forward. So correct that immediately. Lift your sternum, pull your head back, open your shoulders, engage your abs. That is good posture. Okay, do this with me again. Lift your sternum, pull your head back, roll your shoulders back, engage your abs. Okay, that feels good. That is good. That is healthy posture. Right, there's a little trick that I teach all our clients. YWLT. It's a simple thing you can run through a few times in the morning, a few times in the afternoon. What does it even mean? Well, create a Y with your arms. Y. Okay, a big Y. Pull your arms back and pull those shoulder blades together. Already you're opening your thorax. Okay, we are re-establishing posture, and we are re-establishing that important flow within our bodies. Okay, start with a Y, then drop down into a W, pull those shoulder blades together, roll your thumb back. Again, this feels good. We're doing some good here. Then you can drop down into an L. There's your L. You see that? Pull your arms back again, shoulder blades together. Again, we're doing more good. Finish off with a big T, pull the arms back, roll the head back, and you can hold these positions for maybe 20 seconds, okay? YWLT. Stick it on a sticky. There's my sticky. I have it all the time because I have to remind myself. I too am human. I get tension. I get so busy. I go into bad posture. I need reminders. So what can you do to create reminders for these things? Huh? Simple. You can put something on your watch, on your phone. You can have stickies like I do. Stickies can be made of paper, or stickies can be digital, right? This is a smart world we're living in. When we're talking about stretching, there are some golden rules that I really want you to be cognizant of. First of all, when you stretch slowly, okay? Try and warm the tissues up first, and then stretch slowly and gradually. We don't want to experience pain. When we stretch into slight discomfort. Yes, into discomfort, because we want to expand our comfortable range of motion, and to extend our comfortable range of motion, we stretch slightly into discomfort, okay? We are expanding our comfortable range of motion. So we need a tiny bit of pain, not real pain, just a little bit of discomfort. Make your stretches into 2 sections. So if I'm going to stretch my neck, I'm going to stretch that way. I'm just applying a little bit of force. I'm letting my body accept it, 5 seconds. And then once it's accepted and the body releases a little bit, then I can start to go further. Okay? When you release slowly. These tissues have got some elastic properties, so don't stretch, and then boom, let go, boom. you're gonna pull a muscle or something. So stretch gently for 5 seconds, increase carefully, and then release carefully. Okay, it's your body. Learn to connect with your body. Where it's stiff, where it's achy, that's where you want to be concentrating on. That is where you want to be stretching. Okay, this is fairly obvious, really, but you know, again, there seems to be an absence of common sense in this world. So forgive me if I'm quoting the obvious. Learn to feel the stretch. Okay, it's your body. Learn how to feel with it. Connect with your body. All right. Right. What other stretches can we do? Well, there's me on the left. That's me with the blue. What am I doing? I'm foam rolling my spinal stress away. I have probably been leaning over clients all day. Yep, I too have gravitational physiology acting on my body. I get all these stresses of spending too much time in flexion too. So I need to spend some time in extension. I call these life extension exercises because not only will they make you feel better, but they will actually eventually extend your comfortable lifespan. Okay? Simple, simple, simple solutions. There you see the lady on the bottom, you can see her spine going into extension. Okay? A simple foam roller. You can get them, we sell them in the clinics, you can get them Decathlon, it can't be more than $10. Okay? These are simple things. I believe passionately everybody should have a foam roller. Now, another thing that I believe everyone should have is a resistance band. And here we see the lady on the right using an elastic resistance band. She's pulling forward, she's pulling her head back against the resistance band. So what is she doing? She's waking up the muscles in her neck. Another strategy I use for the same purpose is when I'm driving, I press my head against the headrest. And simply, I'm waking up the muscles that pull my head back into better posture. You do this often enough, and yes, these muscles will then have tone. They will assume a state of slight contraction, and they will be they'll be holding my head naturally where it's meant to be, on my shoulders. Okay. If you don't have an elastic resistance band, you can always use a towel, like you see the lady on the left. In our clinics, we do a lot of corrective work, helping people get the curve back. This curve is so important. And of course, we have strategies to get the curve back. Here we see a Denerol. It's a spinal orthotic that we use in the clinic. Highly effective in restoring the curve, as long as you use it in conjunction with adjustments, which release all the tension and tightness, and they work through the fibrosis of the joints and the strengthening of the muscles that pull that head back. Okay, these are gentle and effective restorative techniques that will restore your neck curve if you give it time. Okay, time is the essence. Time is going to pass anyway. Our spines are either going to get worse or they're going to get better. And it's our activities of daily life and what we do to balance the damage that will determine very much the state of our spines, our postures, and our health in the future. Of course, I'm a chiropractor, so I have to let you know that the most effective solution for resolving or managing neck and shoulder pain is chiropractic adjustments. Okay? This is why we see 1,200 people in our clinic. This is why we have hundreds and hundreds of people. Once they've gone through correction, they stay around in our clinics. They're coming in twice a month or whatever. Guess what? People, even after correcting their spines, they still have the lifestyle that's causing the problem. So we need to have solutions that will bring us back to balance. Okay? That can be yoga. It can be stretching. It can be all sorts of things. Working with the gym, working with a private trainer, but chiropractic, I believe, must be in there. The reason why I am so comfortable in my body, I believe, at the age of 62 is, and that's despite my previous career as a rugby player, skiing and all the problems I had, 20 years leaning over clients, writing books with my head full, all these things, is because I live the life that I talk about. And I don't believe that there's a week has gone by, apart from when I've been on holiday, when I haven't had a chiropractic adjustment, okay? That's why my spine is good. I so want to help more people enjoy a pain-free life through these very, very simple methods, okay? Now, when we're looking at pain and solutions, there are certain caveats, and this can be applying to yourself or a loved one. So while I'm talking about spines and all these things, do please relate this to your loved ones, right? If anybody has got tingling and numbness, then there are nerves involved, okay? And that could be tingling numbness running down the legs or hands and fingers, right? It's now more serious. If there's pain in the hands or wrists, or pain that's radiating down the arms, legs, or pain that won't go away no matter what you do, okay, we're getting into chronic pain. Again, it's getting more serious. If there's loss of strength or any loss of coordination, if there's headaches, daily headaches, if you see structural changes in the shape and alignment of the body, then for goodness sake, see a chiropractor, okay? Then the earlier that we can deal with these problems, the earlier that yourself or your loved one can find a solution to these problems. But as I said before, these problems never stay the same, okay? They never stay the same. They always get better or they get worse. Generally, if you leave them alone, they may go away for a short time, but they will come back for sure, right? The smart thing to do is listen to your body and then see a chiropractor. And again, that's why I'm doing what I do. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We've talked about ergonomics. We've talked about structural changes, making structural changes, and exercise. So what else can we do? Well, much of the pain that you are experiencing is due to inflammation. So we simply must have solutions that reduce the inflammation in our body, and that comes down to embracing an anti-inflammatory diet. You see, your diet goes a long way to determining the body's internal environment, the body's internal chemistry, if you like. We speak every time you have pain, every time you have problems and stiffness, there is always inflammation in the body. Every type of disease involves inflammation. Arthritis is inflammation of the joints. If it's in the spine, it's spinal arthritis, it's spinal inflammation, okay? Inflammation is normal. It's when the body is being helped fight illness, and it's protecting the body from harm, okay? So your inflammation is normal. It's a necessary part of healing, and I guarantee it's part of the pain that you're experiencing. The problem is, if you are on a more Western diet, or if you have a poor Eastern diet, then it's highly likely that your diet is damaging the body and it's creating systemic inflammation. Our diet passes through our digestive tract, it's absorbed into our blood, it goes to all our tissues, and it goes into all our cells. If it's bad, if it's got chemicals and things like that, you're going to get systemic inflammation. All right, and so this is now even more serious than just a few swollen points. Right, systemic inflammation is the #1 cause of disease in this modern world. Right, so we should really, 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 really start to consider looking at your diet and changing it to a more anti-inflammatory diet. Now, probably few of you will know, of course I'm English, but my house is in Spain. When I get any possible chance, I go back to Spain, and that's where we have the most wonderful Mediterranean diet. And that has been heralded around the world as possibly the most healthy diet. So what is it about the Mediterranean diet that is so healthy? It's anti-inflammatory. It concentrates on fish, and it concentrates on seafood. especially tuna and salmon. And these have got plenty of those healthy omega-3s, those healthy oils. The Mediterranean diet has plenty of fruit and vegetables. Fruits, lots of blueberries and blackberries. Strawberries are great too. Vegetables, lots of kale, spinach, and broccoli. All very, very good for you. But how do you cook them? Again, this is important. You've got to steam them, right? You don't want to be frying them in unhealthy oils. Again, that's a big problem we see in Singapore in these hawker markets, right? This is a big reason that people who eat in the hawker markets all the time, they might have a lot of vegetables, but guess what? It's not being steamed. It's being served to you, and it's being cooked, unfortunately, in unhealthy oils. What else can we have? Well, we want lots of beans and nuts and seeds, olives, olive oil. These are all good. Fiber. Lots of fiber that passes through our body. What does fiber do? Yes, it cleans out our gut, so we have a healthy gut. And good, healthy fiber also helps feed the natural flora. What do I mean by that? All the healthy bugs that live in our system. Okay, so we need to have a healthy gut if we're going to have an anti-inflammatory effects in our body. Okay, now do remember we cannot change one food and expect to be healthy, right? What I'm talking about is more of a system of eating. So what I'd like you to do is start to just think about learning something every day. How are you going to do that? Just follow my blog. It's so simple nowadays. You follow some people that talk about healthy diets on Instagram or follow their newsletters. I mean, there's so many out there. Just get a little bit every day. I'm sharing more and more through my various social media means. Just get it from wherever you can. There's so much information out there. I mean, we're bombarded with information, but it's the questions that we ask. Start asking smart questions, and then you'll be getting answers that will really help you live that healthy life. Whew, right, I've gone through a lot of stuff there. So the three main strategies to reduce the pain and get back towards a healthy life in terms of less pain, better function, less arthritis, better aging, is by improving our posture, by fixing our ergonomics, and embracing a healthy anti-inflammatory diet. Okay, now I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I've gone through that at speed. If I could, I'm going to have a look at the. I'm looking at the chat now. So if you've got any questions, then please just engage. Ask questions on the chat. I'm here to do. I'm not rushing off. I'm here to ask any questions. Selena said, "Hope we can have more of this talk." Well, there's certainly more where this came from. That's for sure. I do a lot of talks. This has been recorded. It's going to be on our social media, on our YouTube channel. If anybody that's listening would like a copy of my book, Posture Matters, then please just let us know. We can send you a digital copy. If you would like us to come to your place of work, we can also do that. We are literally here to help. How do we do that? Well, obviously in our clinics, we help fix spines, but we have many, many ways in which we share our information. And I strongly believe that knowledge is power. And if we can give you knowledge about yourself, then that is self-empowerment. And that really is the crux of the matter. The more you learn about yourself, the more knowledge you can have about how your body works, then you can make smart decisions and you can start to live a healthier life. Okay, so let's have a look at I've got a couple of chats coming in. So Justin, my neck problem is because of a fusion of neck joints. Can chiro address that? Okay, right, look, I have seen hundreds of thousands of clients over 25 years. Everybody gets better. Now, I know that's a big statement. Everybody gets better. Yeah, of course. Let me rephrase that. 99.9% of people get better. How much better do they get? Well, the 0.01% that don't get better have probably left it so late. There's so much damage that we literally, as chiropractors, are too scared to put our hands on these people, okay? Now, these people are very, very few and far between. Pretty much everybody else we can help. How much can we help? Well, again, it depends on how long you've left it. Some people they've had surgery. They've had joints that have been fused. Some people have got joints that have fused naturally, whether that be through arthritis or it's happened naturally as a genetic thing, okay? Can we help these? Yes, we can. I'm not gonna try and move a joint that's been held together by some kind of surgical procedure, but guess what? The cause of the problems probably still exists. And if you've got some fused joints, you've got some joints either side of it that are doing twice the work, that are probably degenerating at twice the speed. Certainly by improving posture and function of the associated joints, the joints that are adjacent to the ones that are fused, we can really work with those and we can help you. So Jocelyn, yes, we absolutely can help. But please be reassured that we will always take x-rays. Whenever there's any kind of problem like that, we know what we're doing. We do not use excessive force. We treat babies, we treat people into their 90s. We do not hurt people, okay? That's our first thing. So yes, we can help you, and we will do that by maximizing the function of the surrounding joints. Okay, hope that helps. Okay, good. I'm glad I was able to help you with that. If there's nothing else coming through, then I'm going to leave it at that. I'd like to thank you all so very much for listening. A lot of information gone through there. I've gone through it at a lot of speed. As I said, if anybody wants my book, just let us know. If anybody wants to pass this webinar onto anybody you love, then please just send them the link. It will be on our YouTube channel. Okay, and with that said, I'd like to thank you all for listening. I wish you a very good night. Some of you I'll see in the clinic, I'm sure. And again, good evening, and I hope you've enjoyed.